Welcome back to MarkOneModels. Today I'll be giving you another installment in the Friend Build series as our final episode for 2025. Today's video will be about my friend Steve's 1985 Chevy K20 long bed. But make sure you stay tuned to the end. I'll have a special surprise I'm sure you'll get a kick out of. So Steve is another friend I made at a cruise night. His truck shows a level of dedication to turning one man's trash into another man's treasure. Prior to Steve owning it, his truck was a plow truck for a towing company and was fitted with a flatbed and a light bar. Steve took this project on, getting another bed for it, doing frame repairs, body work, and even painting it with a friend. All his hard work has turned it into the truck it is today. And Steve is still making improvements to the truck that have taken place since I started my build. So if you see the truck in person, it may look a little different than depicted here. For my source kit, I used the MPC Deserter kit. It is a short bed, but thanks to the internet, I used sections of a second bed to turn it into a long bed. As the Deserter kit was originally released as a Fall Guy kit, I needed to fill in the secret compartment panel lines on both sides, and did so as well with the passenger side gas door, since Steve's truck has the filler on the driver's side. The Deserter's kit front bumper has marker lights in it, but Steve's truck does not, so I filled those with putty and used my chrome pen to hide my work. The rear bumper also didn't match Steve's, so I got a bumper and tailgate panel from Lazy Spectator on eBay. As Steve welded a hitch mount to his bumper, I created one from square stock and attached it to the bottom. One of his marker lights is aftermarket, so I colored one to match as well. The tailgate panel I obtained as meant to be a chrome insert, but I cut the edges off and grafted it into the tailgate to match the stamped lettering on his. I obtained a Chevy grill from Iceman Collections on eBay to help complete the body mods. The paint for this took an interesting twist. When Steve painted his truck, it was from a mix of what was around, and he said that not all the panels are even. I had found a close match in a tester's spray can, but when I went to use it, it exploded in my hand, and come to find out it was no longer available. I ended up using Tamiya TS54 light blue metallic as a base coat and gently added Tamiya TS71 smoke to get it to the right shade. Like Steve's truck, the color isn't 100% even, so it was in fact true to form. As Steve's truck used to be black and green in its previous life, and that still shows on his firewall, I made sure to include those details and even include his underhood performance stickers from decals that I made. Other exterior decals included his inspection sticker on the windshield, his vanity plate on the front, and his license plate on the back. For the drivetrain, I needed to lengthen the frame with some C-channel. The Deserter kit calls for using blocks to raise the ride height at the spring shackles, but I skipped that part since Steve's truck is not super lifted. Steve's shocks have boots on them, which I replicated by wrapping wire around the shock and painting it to match. I extended the exhaust to match the longer truck length and added tips from styrene tube to match those on Steve's truck. For the engine, I went to my parts bin, and I found some close enough finned valve covers and an air cleaner to match those on Steve's truck. With wheels and tires, the Deserter kit's wheel horns were completely wrong. I found an exact match to Steve's wheels and tires from Jay's Resin Wheels 1948 on eBay. We'll get back to the build in just a moment, but I wanted to take a moment to remind you that if you like these videos, feel free to give a like and subscribe and share with your friends. Don't forget to make sure your notifications are turned on so you won't miss an episode. You can also follow along on our Facebook, Instagram, and Threads pages, and you can find those on the links in the homepage. Now let's get back to the build. For the interior, Steve's truck is a basic black for the most part. It has a bench seat, so I pulled one from my parts bin since the Deserter kit has bucket seats. Steve's seat has a tear along the driver's side, So with a couple layers of masking tape and some tearing with the razor blade, I was able to create that effect. I used my chrome pen on the dash panel, created a floor-mounted tack from an oil filter, and added a fire extinguisher to match Steve's layout. He keeps a book of photos to put out for cruise nights, so I created one and placed it on the seat. The photos in it are from his actual photo album that I made with decals. He has an award for most likely to fight you over a compliment that he also puts out for people to see, so I put on a trophy on the seat for him as well. I finished up the inside with tinting the glass. I first tried this out by using the Tamiya smoke paint, but it looked absolutely terrible, so I got another set of glass and tried some actual car tint. No matter what, that stuff would not stick, so I found another tint kit that had a mild adhesive on it. I think it is meant to be put on houses, but regardless, that one ended up sticking well, and the interior was complete. Probably one of my favorite parts of this truck is inside the bed. Steve keeps a storage box, gas, oil, and a spare, and a folding chair in there, as well as he puts his used cigarette butts in there to avoid littering when he's out. I chose to replicate this as best I could. I used several parts from eBay sellers, a truck box from BCS Trading, gas can from MarkOneModels, a tire from the kit, but a cut-down rim I got from Motor City Pick and Vine, the oil jug from Vinyl Flask, and the folding chair from Top Gas KZ. Cigarette butts I made from wrapping paper around wire, and I homemade the ratchet strap from ribbon and folding up a piece of tinfoil. Since the bed of Steve's truck is not pristine, I made sure to weather it to match. The completed model was given to Steve at the cruise night that I gave all his as well. Both of these were drawing more attention than the actual cars at the show. I was taking the cover off of it so someone could take photos and accidentally snapped a mirror off of it. Everyone's reaction, including Steve's, was to just rip the same mirror off his actual truck. We didn't, but it was sure funny. For those of you who have been waiting to the end for that surprise, stay tuned. Earlier, I mentioned a trophy that he had for fighting over compliments. Steve absolutely does not think that his truck is nice and will be quick to point out flaws in it. The highest compliment that he ever has allowed for to be said about it is, "That's a pretty okay looking truck." And because of all that, I decided I'd have a little fun making the following trailer. If you know Steve, you'll have a chuckle.
In a world where everyone wants to be the best, there is one man who, above all else, refuses to accept compliments on his truck. Don't push him on this, and if you're lucky, things won't come to blows. This is the world of Steve Club.
Gentlemen, welcome to Steve Club. The first rule of Steve Club is, you do not talk about how nice you think Steve's truck is. The second rule of Steve Club is, you do not talk about how nice you think Steve's truck is. The third rule of Steve Club, if someone yells awesome, gets excited, or insists on complimenting Steve's truck, it's time to fight. Fourth rule, only poor to mediocre comments on Steve's truck are allowed. Fifth rule, one comment at a time. Sixth rule, no compliments, no celebration of Steve's truck. Seventh rule, conversations will go on as long as they are not complimentary. And the eighth and final rule, if it's your first night, you have to avoid complimenting Steve's truck.
Well, a movie maker I am not, but I hope you enjoyed my little spoof. Likewise, I hope you enjoyed watching the build about Steve's truck. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic 2025 and you bring in the new year safe, healthy, and having fun. Thank you for watching Mark One Models.